What if I told you that there is no such thing as perfect Waldorf? What if there was no such thing as perfect in a classroom, in a homeschool setting, anywhere? So I love this, to think of this quote that Rudolf Steiner said to those very, very, very first teachers back in 1919, 100 years ago, when he was doing the teacher seminar and training teachers for the first Waldorf school. He said, as teachers, we need to be like plumbers in the dark. Plumbers in the dark. So hi, hey there. If you don't know me, I'm Jean. I am the mother of three and the homeschooling mentor here at Waldorf-Inspired Learning. And today I want to talk about accepting wherever you are on this homeschooling journey. Finding a way to feel good about what you are doing. So even if you're not hung up on that word perfection, right, or perfect, you still might feel like so many homeschoolers I talk to, where you've bought the right curriculum, you have this plan, but then day to day, things just don't go exactly as you thought they would, right? You don't get to absolutely everything that you had in mind. So the truth is that we can't do it all every single day, all day, every day, forever and ever. It really isn't, it's not totally reasonable to expect that of ourselves, to think that we're going to get all the verses and the songs and the main lessons and the handwork and they're just so much, right, to be doing. But the truth is that we can do it all if we zoom out a little bit and see this as a much more holistic experience for our children over a longer period of time. So if we can change that time frame, zoom out a little bit and change that time frame, we really do bring all of these different experiences to our children over the weeks and the months and even the years. So let me just share with you a little bit about my own homeschooling journey. So this is like over 25 years, right, of homeschooling experience. And I definitely had days, I would say, where I felt like I was failing, right? I felt like, oh my gosh, we didn't get to main lesson today, or we didn't get the story or the songs in, or we didn't get to handwork today, or whatever it might have been, right? And I felt that way a lot, honestly, But then now that my kids are grown, they're all in their 20s, and I look at them and I think about, like, from time to time, I'll ask them what their favorite experiences were, or I'll say, what are your memories of making main lesson books, or whatever it is. And I'm amazed at the richness of their, over time, their homeschooling experiences. So here are just a couple of things. It's helpful to me. I mean, I have the luxury that they're in their 20s now, but when I zoom out, I think about different years, right, along our journey, like the year that we went to Jamestown and Williamsburg in the spring. And almost that entire year, our main lesson blocks, because everybody was interested, right, our main lesson blocks were built really around stories of explorers and the first people who arrived in the United States and all of that kind of thing in preparation for this big trip. But did we get a lot of verses and songs in that year? No, I don't think so. We did handwork. We did a lot of map making. We did some painting and drawing and reading and writing summaries, but we didn't do it all, right, in that year. And then I think about the year when the boys were probably like 12 and 13 years old, and our youngest was in kindergarten, and they got reinterested in circle time, right? So they then led the circle really for a kindergarten age sibling. And we did a ton of verses and songs that year, and movement games and marching and all of that kind of thing. And then there's the year when we really dug into main lesson books, but we were tired of the pre-made blank books. So, of a standard size that we'd been using for years for main lessons. And so we started doing more like scrapbooking and taking photographs and creating main lesson books that way. So through the years, though, it really adds up to, as I said, this wholeness of this rich experience. So here's the thing. If I'm really honest with myself, I so wish that I had been able to see this whole, right? To be able to feel better about what I was doing day to day, and feel like, instead of feeling like I was failing in those early years, feel like, oh, this really is going to add up over time. So if I had been able to see that more, to see that sort of possibility and the sense that there's a wholeness to it all, I would have, and this is the key here, I would have started with rhythm instead of curriculum. Because the truth is that when we purchase curriculum, like, we never use it all as is, even when we've developed it ourselves, right? Those of you who've been through the process of planning and customizing curriculum know even a classroom teacher isn't going to follow exactly the plan, because when you get there, it's a little bit different experience, and then other things come up while you're doing the teaching. So the way I see it is that it works so much better to build up from starting with rhythm instead of taking this whole curriculum and then trying to use pieces and parts of it, where then we feel behind, right? We feel like we're not doing it all. Because the truth is that we really each create our own curriculum anyway, right? We each create our own curriculum anyway. What actually happens between us and our children is the curriculum. It's not what's written down on paper, it's the experience. So that's referred to, like in pedagogical circles, that's referred to as the learned curriculum. It's the thing that's actually happening that brings about the learning. Okay, so what I want to share with you today that could really, really help is this idea of starting with a foundation of rhythm, so that then the curriculum is able to flow so much more gracefully out of that. And I have a new free guide for you that I'm so excited about. I just finished it up, and it is called Save Your Homeschooling Day. Here's the cover. This is just the cover of it, but it's a wonderfully rich guide. It's 18 pages, and it has these 3 steps. So Save Your Homeschooling Day, 3 steps to rescue your rhythm for a simple, happy homeschool. And the idea is to create a visual for your rhythm so that you can hang it up on your wall, and you can see it and your kids can see it. And this guide has some wonderful photos and examples of, thanks Shannon, wonderful photos and examples of parents I've worked with over the years with this. So you'll get to see these full color images of what other people have created. That's one of the beauties of this guide. And you'll see how different they all are. Like, everybody creates a different one that just finds a way to make this work for them. And then you can hang it up inside a cabinet, in the dining room, wherever you want. So you can get your copy of Save Your Homeschooling Day by going to waldorfinspiredlearning.com/free guide. And I hope that really helps you develop your own rhythm that really works for you. It can change from year to year. It can even change from season to season. And it depends on how much outside activity we do and all of that. And that's all good. That's all well and good. So thanks so much for being here for Tuesday Tea Time. And I show up here on this Waldorf-Inspired Learning page every Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. to bring you a little nugget of Waldorf wisdom. And I'll be here again next week. So I hope you'll join me then. All right. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.